Yes, fellas. Welcome to Bala Sports. How you guys doing? Solo, Lino, what's going on, man?
What's going on, man?
Yeah, man, what's up, man? Sunday evening, 7:30 p.m.
Feel
Nice
good.
stress-free Saturday, Sunday. I say.
Yo, it feel good. It feel good. It feel good. It feel good. It's a feel good Sunday, man. I don't know how to react right now, so I'm gonna control my composure and just ask questions because I don't
you,
want to go off.
you should.
Because I don't want Solo to come out here start getting mad at me. You know how Buffalo Bill fans are, man. I
Man.
don't think they like me,
Though,
bro.
man, I never get mad. I never get mad. I give fair and honest opinions, like the news channels.
That's what. That's that's where. That's where you went wrong, bro. That's where you went wrong.
I'm like the news channels, man. That's what they say, man.
Yo, but guys, man, NFL Week 17, Sunday recap, reactions to that say.
Yo, man.
Woo! Man, I'm still hyped.
You
I'm
still
still hyped.
hype? You
I'm
still
still
hype?
hyped
You still hype from what?
for the massacre that happened, man. We hammered the Cowboys, man.
Oh man.
a
Division
boring ass,
rivals to win
boring,
the division.
boring ass games today, man.
It sure was 41-7. That's the kind of game that Solomon like. That's the kind of games that every Eagle fan, well, everybody that hate the Cowboys would love to watch. I don't know about you guys.
I mean, that was expected. That wasn't a surprise.
There we go. But let me
Um,
guess. Let me guess. The Jets, the Bills blowing the Jets. Was that expected?
yeah, it was expected. I'm not even excited about it. I don't even talk about it really. It's not much to talk about that game. Just another game.
You know
But
what's wrong
hey,
with this guy, man? Why this guy always trying to act different whenever the Bills win? Like you know what I'm saying?
hey,
He acting like the Bills are the best team in the
hey,
NFL, bro.
when the Bills lose, then I got a lot of stuff to say. But if they just win like expected, come on, what can I say, man? They didn't play that great, but they're up by 40-0 still. I'm just saying. It's we didn't in other words, we didn't learn anything new.
Hmm.
There we go.
Hey, you get
It's crazy you say. I mean, that you talking like that because today 5 Bill fans told me that. "Man, I love to watch you guys show, but I can't stand the Chief fan. He's too cocky for me." And then here we go, Bill fan here being all cocky and shit like that,
I'm
man.
not I'm
Come
not
on,
being
man.
cocky. I'm just saying there's not a lot to talk about today.
Speaking of that, you said there's not a lot of talk about. Let's get straight to the point. With the Buffalo Bills clinched the number two in the AFC two seeds,
Yes, sir.
destroying the Jets, 40-14.
Actually
Wow.
the final result even is not even telling you how the game went, really.
All right, so let me get you this stats quiz, man. Josh Allen completed 16 out of 27, 182 yards and two touchdowns. And of course, man, Cook, he's been one of my favorite running backs this season, bro, man. Hands down, bro. Like 15 carries, 53 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, I don't know if he was thanking for the Jets, but it's that time of the season.
You did
Aaron
say that.
Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers completed 12 out of 18, 112 yards.
Oh
Yo,
boy.
112 yards, two interception. What is going on,
You,
man?
you know,
So
you, you know what? You talk about body language. I was watching Aaron Rodgers. That there was like I think there was like a fourth down. They went for it, and then he threw really the ball on the ground, and he was going like this, pointing to the receiver that was his fault. I'm like, this dude, man. He never takes any responsibility, man. He threw two interceptions. He was sacked several times. Safety, and hey, still not. It wasn't his fault. I mean, it was 40-0. By the end of the third quarter, the Bills just started removing all the starters and putting the backups. So that gave the Jets. Look, Tyrod Taylor, one of our favorite players in Buffalo, he was the first quarterback to lead the Bills back to the playoff before they drafted Josh Allen. So Bills fans still love Tyrod Taylor. He came in, he threw two touchdowns to give them 14. But like I said, this game was I wasn't surprised. The defense seemed like they look good, but it don't give me no confidence that they're gonna play like this in the playoff. They played the Jets, So that's why I said in the beginning, this game doesn't really show me or anything or teach me anything new about this Bills defense. I'm still not like confidence when they play better teams in the playoffs, how they'll perform. But I guess getting a win against the Jets, it was a good game, just to get things right. Because after how they performed last week against the New England, they had to they had to play a game where the defense feels like they are top of the game and getting back their confidence. But again, like I said, we're playing the New York Jets, who had nothing to play for, and we just shut them down from the beginning. They are moving the ball. Actually, they were moving the ball most of that first half, but they had turnover on downs, they had interceptions, they had all kinds of problems.
Right.
But and Josh Allen, he didn't even have to play the whole fourth quarter. And if you look at the stats, they don't even look that impressive, but he didn't have to. We had Mitch Trubisky come in the fourth quarter and take over, and they threw a nice touchdown too. So it's just another. It just the only thing that this game really taught us was the Bills finally they get that number 2 seed, which means they're gonna host a couple playoff games hopefully before they go to Kansas City.
You said before they go to Kansas City, man.
They gotta win the first 2, and then
give me a take on this game, especially from the Jets. Well, they just been eliminated from the playoff about months ago. If I'm not mistaken, there's not too much to say about the Jets. But, especially like when the season is coming to the end and then how close the MVP race is with Josh Allen performance today with the numbers that he has. Of course, the Bills, as a team, they routed the Jets. But does his performance affect his MVP candidate going against Saquon and Lamar Jackson? And Sam Darnold need to be thrown in the conversation, in the mix. I think Sam Darnold should be in the mix, but
he should.
I don't know. I mean, I mentioned this when we did the podcast on Thursday. I'm like, everybody's going to forget about Lamar's performance on Wednesday or just the game in general. And if Josh Allen has any semblance of a decent game, then they're going to be like Josh Allen MVP because it's recency bias. It's the last thing you saw. I don't think this helped or hurt his MVP performance today, or voting wise, regardless. The only thing I can say about that is Josh Allen will not play next week. He'll probably get a snap or two in to keep the start streak going.
Right.
But other than that, Lamar's going to play next week.
Right.
Because he has to, because they still got to wrap up the division. And
right.
you got fans out there saying, well, he gets another game. Maybe if he can close his division sooner. Well, he doesn't play in the AFC East. The AFC East is terrible.
Right.
So I guess that could hurt Josh Allen essentially if we're looking at it from a stats point of view.
Right.
But if you're looking at it from a competitive point of view, I mean, who do you really have to play in that division? I mean, outside of the Browns, Steelers, and Bengals are very formidable in that division, and you have the Dolphins. I think would be the Bills' best competition, I guess. So to speak.
The Dolphins are still alive. They're still alive.
I guess. They're treading water, but they just swallowed half the tank. So I don't know. But just from the Bills' point of view today, I mean, this game was just sad to watch. You had a competent offense on one side, and you had an incompetent offense on the other side. I mean, like Solo pointed out, the Aaron Rodgers that we all grew up watching and loved or just loved to watch. First off, he could have ran for that first down that he threw a sinker into the guy's ankles. Right. He could have ran the first down. That should have been number one option. Number two option is he was wide open. So whether you want him to go upfield, stop his route, nonetheless, he was wide open. So don't sit here and be like, hey, you got to get up there. Bro, just run the ball, and we won't even be having this conversation. This is his second interception, I believe, was tipped. I mean, it is what it is. Right, Defender's got his hand up, they got tipped. And it was third interception. He had 3, correct?
No, he had 2.
No, yeah, 2.
Yeah, 2. And then the sack at the safety.
Safety. And then he got sacked several other times.
Too. Yeah, he looks so just immobile. He just can't get away. The safety, I mean, I don't even think the left guard, left tackle got like maybe a hand on him. Maybe
Right.
he was essentially unblocked, but it was just a sad game to watch from the Jets' offensive perspective, and it's what we expected. I didn't expect 40-0 at one point in this game, but I expected the Bills to handle their business and come out with a W. It's just another laughing stock in the season that we call the New York Jets.
To be continued, man. For me, I was surprised that I was even surprised that New York Jets even started him as a quarterback. I thought at some point those guys can look at it. Okay, let's go to a backup quarterback if they have one. Who's really is the backup quarterback anyway? He's damn sure not the future quarterback.
Tyrod Taylor.
I mean, he's not the. I mean, he's not going to be the future quarterback. So I was
No.
actually surprised that Aaron Rodgers started today. I'm like, bro,
What?
you guys are
What?
out of the
Well, they had to start somebody.
Terran Taylor.
I mean, what are they trying to find out from? They're not trying to find out anything. It's not like they have a rookie somewhere.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But after watching a couple nights ago, but the Broncos, I was expecting the Broncos to win that game because that would be a good matchup against the Buffalo Bills. That would
I
be
think
a great matchup against the Bills. Man, the Broncos and the Bills would be a great matchup.
I think right now it looks like it will end up like because I know Leonard can correct me. I don't think Kansas City gonna play any of the starters in the last game. So the Denver Broncos have an excellent opportunity to win that game and make it through. Even though they lost, they
Right.
still control their destiny. So I think from the standings, I think not too much will change. The Denver Broncos will likely come to Buffalo for that first week of the playoff. That's what I think.
It's gonna be a good one. That would be a good matchup, man. Because that
Yeah,
young
that yeah,
quarterback, man,
yeah,
he's
that would be good.
they got the defense, everything else. But the Bills clinched the number 2 seed. They're always gonna be second to Kansas City. I don't understand what's going on. But that's a conversation for now. I don't want
Uh,
to. I don't want to start with Bill fans right, especially not
don't
Solo, man.
don't
Solo's
start.
in a good mood.
Listen, you don't start line with me. Me and you are on the same team.
All right, we're on the same team. Okay.
We don't. It's those fans online.
Nah, they're going against Lino, not us.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Solo, I know you said that you're not excited about your team performance today because you already expected it was going to happen. Me personally, I didn't expect this to happen because whenever we play against the Cowboys, the one team that I always say that I hate to play because I hate to lose against them and they know how to play us,
Right.
that's the Dallas Cowboys. But boy, oh boy, what today's game was fun. Oh my God. I got to laugh if I talk about this, boy. Saquon Barkley topped the 2,000 yard rushing yard, 9th play in the NFL history to hit that. The Cowboys hammered.
They did
I mean, excuse me. The Eagles hammered the Cowboys 41-7 at home at the Lincoln.
Oh
Saquon
boy.
Barkley, welcome to I-76. Good God dang. I don't know where to start with this game, bro. Man, I'm so excited. I was so excited throughout the whole game, especially in the third quarter. All I wanted was Saquon to break the record in this game, but it didn't happen. There's another game. But before we get there, man, this is a backup quarterback on top of a backup quarterback that went down there and destroyed the Cowboys. Cowboys losing even by 1 point is the best thing that could happen to us on Sunday. But they got hammered. Don't get me wrong, the Cowboys be playing great the past 5 games, man. They won 4 out of 5. It was a mud field goal that kept them from winning 5 games in a row. I was expecting them to do better in this game and go overall, man. Watching the first drive. You see, this is what happened when bad things happens. Be patient. Good things are gonna happen. CJ got ejected last game, but emotional referee that cost us the game against Washington, in my opinion. Jalen Hurt went down. Of course, that actually also played a big part. But CJ got a 69-yard. Oh God, man, yo, bro, I'm gonna have to control myself talking about this game. That's how crazy I was going, man. I was so hyped, man, because it's the Cowboys, man. Lito, I know you could back me up on that. You hate to see the Cowboys win.
No,
We
man.
all love to see the Cowboys lose.
I think
But
you were only hyped because it was the Cowboys, not the actual game. The actual
I
game
was hyped
wasn't
because it's the Cowboys.
right. The actual
The-
game wasn't that exciting.
It's the Cowboys. Anything about the Cowboys being destroyed, being hammered, I don't give a damn if it's against the Buffalo Bills, the New York Giants, the Washington Commanders. Anything in the league that destroyed the Cowboys is a good day for me. But before I get down to my emotional part about this game, bro, man, Saquon Barkley, man, He got 101. He need 101 more yards to break the record. Bro, I impressed with you guys with this guy throughout the whole season. Cause me, I got a little emotion watching him play today, because I'm a huge Saquon fan. I've been a Saquon fan since Penn State. I had kind of dislike him a little bit with the Giants, but now it's like, yo, welcome back
He's
to Philly, man. Talk to me,
he's on your team now.
Yeah, I mean, first off, Musa, do you still want Nick Sirianni fired because you were talking really early in the game, and now
Come
all of a
on, man.
sudden,
Why you gotta get there, man?
nah? Because listen,
Be
listen,
patient, bro.
if we're gonna be 100 all the way, let's be 100 all the way. Do you still want Nick
All right.
Sirianni fired?
Right, right. You've been that drum all season
Now,
long.
now, the first two drive of the Philadelphia Eagles. If you're Eagle fan, a football fan, period, man, you've been frustrated. Like, what the hell is going on? Especially the first drive. That's why got me frustrated. I'm like, yo, this guy need to go tomorrow. If we would have
Musa,
lost this game, go ahead, talk to me.
I say this out of the bottom of my heart. I would never want you to be a GM of everything because you don't give anybody a goddamn chance. You see first sight of trouble, fire them. You see the first up, pull them. Nah, I never
Whoa,
want you to be a coach or a GM of anybody.
I've been saying this since last season. Now, don't get me wrong. This season, along with the Philadelphia Eagles being 13-3, yes, congratulations to Nick Sirianni, man. He's doing something that I haven't seen a lot of head coaches do in the NFL. You know what I mean? But there's some times you gotta question him, like, yo, bro, what are you doing? Now we know our offense starting slow has nothing to do with Jalen Hurts. It's just the way we are. Because the first quarter period, man, I was like, yo, Saquon couldn't get nothing going. I don't know why he was so much believing Kenny Pickett to just be the next Tom Brady, just like that. Yes, the Cowboys. We expect the Cowboys to try to stop the running game, but the first drive, even you were frustrated, and you're not an Eagle fan. Tell me I'm lying, Lino.
I really didn't care. I really didn't care. I got no dog in the fight, man. I got no dog in the fight.
Yeah, but give me a take about Saquon, man. How the running back, I think about 7 running backs this season that hit over 1,000 yards. And
Yeah.
Saquon, man, being the ninth running back to hit 2,000 yards. I'm impressed with you guys with Saquon.
Oh man, I'm very impressed with Saquon. He's so 2,000 yards, bro. 2,000 yards. That's my MVP. Okay, he breaks the record next week, and a lot of people are gonna have. There's gonna be a lot of
Back.
should he play because knock on wood, if he gets hurt, it's a meaningless game. You got the number 2 seed locked up. You're going for the record. But when you're going for the record, this is something that stood since '84. This is a record that you're so close to. You can taste it, you can smell it, you can see it. Go for it, and not only go for it. Do you know who you're playing next week? The New York Giants.
I
Do you
know.
know who you played for and you got drafted by? The New York Giants. You know who would love to break the record against the New York Giants? Saquon.
Saquon Barkley.
Do you know? Do you
Let's
know?
go.
Do you know who would love to break the record? This Philly front office, right in front of the Giants front office. Like, thank you, appreciate it. Here's a record. That would just be an amazing feat, an amazing accomplishment. Now, I personally say even if he does break the record, I still don't think he's going to win MVP just based off of the hype around the other 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But it's my MVP. But what he's doing is nothing short of amazing, man. Is really not. And I know Eric Dickerson came out this week and said that he doesn't want Saquon to break his record. But listen, records are meant to be broken at some
Right.
point.
He say he
Records
doesn't
are
want.
meant to be broken.
Yeah,
He
he
doesn't.
said doesn't. Yeah, he said
What?
doesn't want it.
Why not?
I mean, listen. I get it from listen. I mean, he's been retired for how long now? As a football player or as just somebody who plays sport, you are so competitive.
Right.
Like, yeah, he would welcome him in and be like, probably you broke my record, congratulations. But like deep down, you're like, damn, like that's not my record anymore. Every time you've seen a running back get close or sniff it, you see ED up there, and now you're going to see possible Saquon up there. So it kind of takes a small hit to the ego. Like that's not saying that's all he had because he was an incredible player,
Right.
but like when you think of the single season rushing record, you think of Eric Dickerson. So I don't blame him for saying that he doesn't want him to break it because as a man, as a football player, you don't want your record broken. But if he suits up next week, He's breaking that record. Mark it down.
And I hope
He's
it happens in
yeah
the first half. So the
You're
second
right.
half he could just get out.
It's like
yeah
it's, it's
yeah
like it's like
yeah.
a
First
sit down.
half.
But you know what? But you know what's even more impressive? Uh, if you guys remember, to the end of his time with the New York Giants, some fans just started saying, "Why is injury prone? He's always injured." And what's so even so amazing is that he came back so strong, and considering the things he's been doing on the field, like I still remember that backward jump. Who they play when he was jumping up, jumping people.
Against the
I mean,
Jaguars.
again, the
Jaguars.
Jaguar, somebody with the history of injuries, like people think, doing all those things. I think it was so impressive. I'm so happy. Like just like Lino say, I really, I'm hoping he breaks the record only because they're playing the New York Giants. that's that's the only reason, really, because they played the New York Giants, the team that gave up on him, the team that decided to pay Daniels, the 1 year wonder quarterback, all that money, and they let their best player go. And then what's even satisfying for Saquon Barkley that the same quarterback that they kept over him, they had to let him go the next year because he was a one hit wonder. So I really hope he breaks the record, and like you said, I hope he breaks it like in the first half. So you know what? You don't take unnecessary risk getting injured because
Right.
the most important thing is Super Bowl. Breaking the record, I'm sure, yeah, he's gonna like it. But if you ask him, being an athlete and like that, I'm sure he will tell you winning the Super Bowl is probably more important. So hopefully he can stay healthy and still break that record. I'll be rooting for him next week, definitely.
Yeah. Dude.
Listen, the two New York teams, the Giants and the Jets, I have no love.
You don't have no love. So which
I,
one is worse?
I have no. Why the Jets are the worst? But no, I
He
don't
said,
shed
hell
no
no.
tears. I don't shed no tears for those two teams.
Yeah, but the Cowboys total yards on offense were 267 yards. Cooper Rush has, I mean, Eagles four turnovers. Cooper Rush got two interceptions. Two interceptions, two fumbles. The Cowboys are not ready to play. Now, I got a personal beef to pick with. Well, I don't got a beef to pick on him because he's not going to respond to me. I got something to say to Marco Person, the guy that always running his mouth. So after today, man, I would definitely subscribe to your podcast so I could listen to what you got to say about this game.
Well,
You know, he always talking junk about the Philadelphia Eagles, about how they're gonna come out here and stop Purse, do what they gotta do, all that kind of stuff. Like, bro, you guys got beat by backup quarterback, and you on defense. Saquon went for 31 carries for 167 yards. I was just a little pissed that he didn't get no touchdown. Come on now, man. Jalen Hurts wasn't there, man. I know picking doing the touch push, man. He had to try it twice. Give it to Saquon. I was hoping Saquon to at least have one touchdown today by person. But listen, bro, you doing a lot of talking. Y'all got beat by two backup quarterbacks. The first backup quarterback got hurt, and the second backup quarterback come in and still throw an interception on you. And a guy run for 167 yards against your defense, bro. And you're talking about coming to Philly doing what you got to do. When are you going to stop talking about? I can't wait to listen to what he got to say on this podcast after this. Like this is very impressive with the Cowboys. I think Michael Person, he's a great talent. Don't get me wrong. I would love to have him in Philly. But he's like the Cowboy fans. All they do is run them out. You guys talk so much
yo,
shit.
bro, man, he's a
Going to
cowboy.
back. I don't give a damn what he is,
What
bro.
do you expect, man? He's a cowboy.
That's what I'm saying. That's all they do. Run them out, man. And now you guys are going Cancun playing against the Red Cowboys in maybe September 10th or something. But this was embarrassing for the Cowboys. As a Cowboy fan, man, I got a buddy of mine that's a Cowboy fan. And I called him, he wasn't too happy, and I got a phone hang up on it, which is okay. I understand. As you should. But this is a great ass whooping, man. Excuse my language, whoever's watching this, maybe for you. But I love it, man. The Eagles Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs rematch is happening when Jalen Hurts come back healthy. But moving on before Solo come jump on my, you know what?
Listen, I've matured. I won't even respond to that.
Yo, but Lino, let's get to one of your favorite quarterbacks in the AFC, man. Cincinnati Bengals keep the hope alive by beating What a trailer that was, man. Now, if they would have lost that game, man, that would have been something else. I know. I say fire the coach because of the dumb play you guys did at the end.
You said that before the end of the game.
Hey, because of the dumb play the dumb play calling that was doing. Bro, there's a minute 29-second left on the clock, man. You on the field goal range. You on the 1 line, 2-yard line? And you
Somewhere
decided
around
to go for a touchdown. And you lost your running back because he's actually was the one that really trying to use his brain, be like, yo, we don't want to leave no time on the clock for these guys to have an opportunity. Talk to me about Joe Burrow's season, man. I know he's on the top notch of all the touchdowns and yards and all kind of stuff like that, man. Who do you blame for the Bengals season?
Who do you blame?
I mean, you take one look at it, it's the defense. Come on now. It's the defense, which played pretty not bad yesterday, given how they usually play. They held in Denver in check the first half, and it was a really good second half, but the game in itself, I mean, that was a really good, it was like a playoff atmosphere. There's a lot on the line for both teams. One wants to keep their season going. One wants to clinch a playoff berth. There was a lot of crazy, wacky plays that went down in between the last couple of minutes of the fourth quarter to overtime. I was at a family party watching on my phone, and I'm telling my brother, I'm like, I think this game's going to go in a tie because they both didn't get nothing in overtime, and then
Right.
Bengals got a field goal position, and he doinked it off the upright, and then Broncos go 3 and out, and I'm just like, is anybody going to score here? I was like, because each team is saying, here, you take it. No, here, you take it.
Right.
But T. Higgins, Jamar Chase come up pretty clutch on that last drive, and he finds T. Higgins right there. Good send off for T. Higgins. I don't think he's coming back to Cincinnati, so for him to go out and have a game winning catch at home before he goes and gets his money elsewhere, I think was pretty cool. But Cincinnati still needs a lot of work. They have to
a lot of help.
they have to depend on Aaron Rodgers next week because they have to beat the Dolphins. And if that happens, Carson Wentz, they're going for the Chiefs next week against Denver. Yeah, that's their last two hopes. You got to hope for a very bad Jets offense against the Dolphins, who are fighting for something.
Yeah.
And Carson Wentz with possible up or calling up from the practice squad and fourth and fifth string receivers. So there were games where the defense blew it. There were games that Joe Burrow blew it. It's a team game. You made your bed, now you got to lie in it. There's a lot. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of talk where you don't want to get the Bengals into playoffs. Maybe the Bengals should have put themselves in the playoffs and they had to play scoreboard watch and depend on other teams.
That is right.
It's just as simple as that because there's so much talk about the Chiefs are being afraid of Cincinnati getting in that we're going to throw the game next week. And people are like, well, you guys don't want to play Cincinnati. That automatically tells me, so you're just saying Cincinnati is going to beat Buffalo because in order for Cincinnati to play us, they would have to get in and then play Buffalo and beat them.
Buffalo and Baltimore, or either one of them. Eventually.
Yeah. So
eventually they have to play Buffalo first if they made the the 7th seed. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just but listen, Joe Burrow has had some timely, critical turnovers and fumbles, and that's just a fact. Yes, his defense has played like trash, but you can't ignore the fact of what he's done, where he's up by 10 and then throwing picks, and now you're down by 10. You can't be throwing pick sixes or scooping scores when you're up by a touchdown in Kansas City. We can go back to week 2 because we can just nitpick little games that he has had the lead and the ball in throwing picks and interceptions.
But we don't do that for Josh Allen, though. We don't do the nitpick thing. This man averaged over 4,600 yards, 42 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. That you talking about? That's the guy to blame.
So is he the MVP?
He's not an MVP because of what?
Why not?
Because he's not in the playoff. Because he's not in the playoff.
Hold on. I thought it was a stat award. If it's a stat award, congratulations, Joe Burrow.
And I think that he should be in it because without him, the Bengals still ass. But I'm just saying, but you know what I'm getting at, bro. you guys always talk about Joe Burrow like he's not
You
the
say you
top,
guys. Who's you guys?
including you. All your
What is that?
AFC teams hate
What?
Joe Burrow because you know, and I know. Beside the Kansas City Chiefs, the only team that you really worry to play against, or you don't want to play against, is Joe Burrow and the Bengals when they're at the
I'm
best.
not.
Dude, you said this last what I think was what back a couple episodes ago when you're talking about the kryptonite for Patrick Mahomes is the Cincinnati defense. I remember you
Yes,
saying that.
couple years ago,
No, you said a
no,
couple of
no, no, no,
episodes
no,
ago.
and I said, guess what? When Cincinnati has to pay people, they already listen. Their window's closed. I can firmly believe and say that because they had healthy players, they had players under contract, but now you got to start paying these players, and we already know how that organization likes to roll. They're
True.
like, oh, you want 5 pennies? I can only give you two. So I mean, they're losing key players. That's why their defense has not been what it was because they lost key defenders. Listen, it's a team game. Th- that's listen. If Joe Burrow wants all these individual accolades and all this, go play golf. But it's a team game. You have to
But
you have
but no,
you have to know what you're working with on the other side and make up for it. And he's done his best. But at the same time, with him trying to do his best, he's made critical errors because he probably is pushing the ball, pressing it, trying to make a play.
Right.
Well, unfortunately, it is what it is. But if the Bengals make the playoffs, if is Joe Burrow not going to get a whole bunch of credit? So why can't we give him a whole bunch of fault for not making
because
it?
the reason why I go back and forth you with that because you wouldn't say that if that was Josh Allen. If
Yes, I
Josh Allen
would.
would have had 4,600 passing yards and 42 touchdowns, 8 interception, that would have been a celebration. It's like, oh God, man, the world about to end. That
You
would have
wouldn't
been
hear
a
you wouldn't have
that
heard
would
it
have
from
been a
me.
Super Bowl win.
You wouldn't have heard it from
Yo,
me.
yo, Mosa, why speaking to Leno like he's a Bills fan? He doesn't even like the Bills. He will never defend Josh Allen. He never
Actually,
defends Josh Allen.
I'm responding to Bill. I mean, to Lena, but I'm actually talking directly to you also. So you sitting there, you talking
Hey, listen, Joe Burrow, he has a great season so far. His stats are excellent. His defense doesn't help him. And for that reason, like Leno said, he tried to do too much. He pushes the ball. That's why he's made some of those mistakes.
You
If he
guys
had
acting like this guy had 15 turnovers. He had eight
no,
turnovers all
I
season,
didn't,
bro.
I didn't. I'm just saying he has played well enough for them to make the playoffs.
Do
But
not forget do not forget the fumbles that he has lost because in Kansas City he lost a fumble off a strip sack and it got taken to the house. That's not an interception. I want you to look up his fumbles. Just look up his fumbles in total and look at the fumbles that he lost
yo,
because I guarantee you there are a lot.
Musa, I do agree his defense is not helping him. But I'm just saying, of course, he has made a few mistakes, but I think he has played well
Wait,
enough. He
solo,
has
solo,
played well enough to make the playoffs.
solo.
Yes, sir.
Patrick Mahomes got over 3,900 yards, right? 3,928 yards,
Okay.
26 touchdowns, not 42, 26, and
Okay.
11 interceptions.
Okay.
Just Joe Burrow got 8 interceptions, but
Okay.
the Chiefs are 15-1.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So it's a team game. You keep talking about the team game, but you blame it. So basically the victories of Patrick Mahomes is based on what? The team won the game, right?
Okay.
They
Yeah.
won. But he had more interceptions. So why
Okay.
is it that Joe Burrow is getting blamed for having
It's not.
8 turnovers?
It's not getting blamed. Who's blaming Joe Burrow? I'm just saying.
That's what Lino keep pointing at.
I'm.
These
I'm.
turnovers, these
I'm.
turnovers, these
I,
turnovers, these turnovers.
I'm saying Joe Burrow, he has played good enough to make the playoffs, but you can't completely blame just the defense. He takes a little bit of blame, but majority of the blame is on defense. He has bad defense and bad coaching. So that's why they're struggling to get in. And I don't even see them getting in because there's two teams in front of them. They gotta go past the Denver Broncos and the Dolphins. The Dolphins might lose, but Denver Broncos they're not losing. I think Joe Burrow is not making the playoffs. And like you said, T. Higgins is gonna get paid somewhere else. And like we said, that's a cheap organization. They're not gonna pay too many stars. And if Joe Burrow wants to win any kind of championships, he has to do like Tom Brady, take a pay cut and make sure they sign in the good players around him to have a better team.
I
Joe
agree.
Burrow gonna end up like, I remember one quarterback who played in San Diego before. Remember they used to have a team in San Diego. Flip
Philip
Rivers.
Rivers.
Flip Rivers. He had all the stats in the world. Even children. I don't know how many children he has now, but he had stats all over the place, and he make the playoffs, but he didn't accomplish anything.
Did he ever play in the Super Bowl?
Philip
No.
Rivers, no.
So he's not good. So Joe Burrow is not going to be like him because he already
I'm just
quarterback in the league right now.
if Joe, yeah, but Joe Burrow made the Super Bowl at the time when they had the opportunity, like said, that all the players there on contract. Now they don't. They have to pay some players. So anytime soon, they're not gonna have a good enough team to make the Super Bowl. They can't pay everybody.
You guys keep talking about they're not playing the players. So who really to blame for the Bengals season is the franchise, the GMs, the owners. That's who to blame for the Bengals season this season.
Right. The organization, everything. Everybody.
So while we here sitting talking about a guy that threw over 4,000, how much almost 5,000 yards.
Well, because apparently it's not enough. It's not enough to have a good team. He can throw for 10,000 yards. Still won't be enough on this team.
That's my point. So what's the solution? Is the team fault?
Okay.
It's not Joe Burrow's 8 turnovers or fumbles that had anything to do about them being in the situation they are. Because I guess
what I'm saying,
we wouldn't be here.
He has to play perfect every game for them to win games. He has to be perfect. He can't make any mistake because the whole team is so bad. He has to be like perfect, which is impossible for him to be perfect every game.
Right.
So
even a fiction character called Superman wasn't perfect. So I don't know what you guys talking about.
Even that's why maybe even the few mistakes that he has made, maybe that's why Leno is pointing those out because he remembers those mistakes as costing them a couple games.
Because Leno doesn't like Joe Burrow, and then I understand because he's the only quarterback that
just like he don't like Josh Allen. What's the difference?
I told you I don't like Josh Allen. I just don't like Bill fans. It's totally different.
No. You talk about Josh Allen like he trusts.
Joe Burrow has to reconstruct his contract this year or next year because guess what? Jamar Chase walked in the front office last year with 2 years left on his deal. They said he wants to get paid. They said, "Screw you." Okay, let me go ball out, win the Triple Crown, lead the league in receiving yards, and reception touchdowns. Guess what? Last year's price. It's not this year's price. It just went up astronomically.
True.
So, where is that money coming from? I mean, he wants to get paid, and if he doesn't get paid, he's going to hold out, or if you're going to request a trade, we know it could be. It has the potential to be an ugly offseason in Cincinnati. So maybe Joe Burrow should return that Batmobile that he got for $3 million or something. Because listen, it could get ugly. It could get real ugly. And if you think, like Musa always says, well, Mahomes came into this and came into that, and he's got look at the receivers that he has had over the years, man. He's had some receivers,
the best ones,
and he had a solid defense. I want to say it was great. It was solid. And now.
And then he also have the worst offensive line because he had the most sack when he
nobody. Listen, guess what? When they won the Super Bowl, everybody's like, "Oh my God, Joe Burrow went to the Super Bowl with that offensive line." And then the same people are like, "How's he supposed to get to the Super Bowl with that offensive line?" Don't make the excuse for something that he overcame and then use it as a flip and say, "Well, what do you want him to do with that?" We can't do that. Yeah. See, you got nothing to say. You got nothing to say.
Nope, we gotta move on.
Yes, we do. Please move on. Drop mic.
Yo, Justin Herbert tossed for three touchdowns, to the Chargers pick up a spot in the playoff. Dude, this is the same Chargers we were talking about last year that there was disorganized, dysfunctional. How impressed are you guys with what the head coach has done so far with the Chargers? Lino?
Wouldn't
you like to talk about every quarterback in the AFC?
I mean, I think I've stayed pretty firm on this it's the same Chargers team, just a little bit tougher and a little bit more disciplined. But ultimately, unfortunately, it looks like they may run into the Ravens in the playoffs, and l- little brother has not beat big brother yet
Yeah,
in the NFL. But overall, as a team, I think they're heading in the right direction. I think it's going to take uh, John Harbaugh about another year or so to get his team and the way he wants to run it together. You can see what he wants to do. He wants this tough nose, hard nose football team. They want these big beefy guys up front. They want them mean and nasty. They want running backs to run downhill. And I don't know if that really bodes well for Justin Herbert because you got a nice toy back there who we see that can throw the ball, has a prototype to throw the ball, but I don't know if he's really gonna blossom the way he should because I feel like Harbaugh is gonna turn this into a running team.
He already did.
But that could also it could work if you it I feel like he can make it work because if you can get the run, everybody knows the run sets up the pass. So
right.
you got a nice quarterback back there. We've seen him play well. We've seen him play terrible. I mean, his biggest knock is being up on the Jaguars. Was it 27-3 and 24-0, something like that, in the wild card, and he completely fumbled that one. So
Yeah,
we'll have to see, but their future, I'm not going to say bright. I'm going to say the light is flickering because because with this team, what has been the biggest knock other than they're inconsistent? It's the injuries. The injuries have plagued this team for I mean years, probably close to a decade. And I actually looked it up a couple weeks ago. They've hired and fired three strength coaches. So it's not them. Maybe listen. I know Chargers with the SoFi Stadium and they're sponsored by this big company. Let's get sponsored by Milk. How about Milk? Get those bones stronger. I, can Milk sponsor this team? Because other than the inconsistent play, injuries is the only thing that's truly holding them back from seeing their full potential.
yeah.
Yeah, man,
So
I do agree, and I was gonna just make the same point he just made. I almost feel like, and I know Justin Herbert, he's already a good quarterback, but I also feel like I think Harbaugh gonna kind of hold him back a little because the way he runs the organization, the way he calls the plays, like say they becoming more of a running game, so they slow everything down. So really, we're not gonna see the full potential of the quarterback with the way they play. And I think they're good enough to win some games, but when they play good teams in the playoffs, I just don't see how they can go, how they can make a deep run. Um, Hardboy is a good coach. He's been successful everywhere he's been. He was successful in San Francisco. He was successful in college, and I'm sure he's gonna be successful. But I just don't see them making a deep run with the way they play right now, the way they're constructed. Maybe in the next couple of years might change, but this year I see them making the playoffs. They're in already, but if they run into Baltimore, I don't. I think that'll be the end of it. I just feel like Justin Herbert. He needs a coach that thinks like him, a coach that's gonna encourage him to do the things that is best at doing than just holding him back. Like this game, like he's capable of throwing 400 yards.
right.
I don't remember the last time he ever threw for 300 yards. He had 281, three touchdowns, and no interceptions. So he's using him like a game manager. It's like you have a sports car that can go 300 miles an hour, and you only use it for 40 miles an hour.
True.
Like you're never gonna find out. But they have a solid team. I think I think the future is bright. I know you say the light is flickering, but I think the future is bright. Only if they make some changes and draft a few more better offensive players. But the way they currently constructed, I don't see them making a deep run in the playoffs. Not this year, not next year.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think that they're a bigger threat to Baltimore than a lot of teams are in the AFC right now.
Threat?
Because,
No.
yeah, because I mean, they already played them once. I understand because this is a playoff, it's a different hemisphere, different field. But I got a quick question for you guys. Run down to the NFC quick. I believe that tell me if I'm crazy for saying this. The Vikings are the better team than the Lions are in the NFC. Excuse me, in the NFC. Beside the
The-
Philadelphia Eagles, I think
the-
we are overall talented. I think the Vikings are the team. I think they are the best, second best team in the NFC, not the Lions.
I mean, the good thing they play each other next week, so we'll find out. But I mean, I can't argue. I mean,
You know.
for for some reason, we keep waiting for Sam Donner to come back down to earth.
Now,
We keep
speaking of Sardano, man, he completed 33 out of 43, 377 yards in 3 touchdowns. Yes, the interception was silly, but it happens. For me, like the Vikings are right where they want to be. They got the defense, and Sam Darnold got the weapons. He know how to use them. And I think they're better team than the Lions.
well, I don't know about that. The Lions have a lot of injuries on defense. On offense,
That's the reason why I say that.
on offense, we know what they can do. If I think, no, I think I still give a little edge to the Detroit Lions on this one.
You know,
Yeah, I mean, let's just say the Lions win tomorrow against the Red Cowboys. There's going to be a team out there who's going to be 14 wins and have the fifth seed. That's
Right.
crazy. And Solomon kind of took the words out of my mouth. No matter if the Vikings get the 1 seed or the 5 seed, the only thing people are going to say, they got a good team, but Sam Darnold. Now,
bro,
okay, we
he's playing great
I
games.
I know this, but everyone's going to be like, well, he doesn't have the playoff experience than the
Right.
other teams that he's going to go up against in the playoffs do, no matter who he plays against.
Right.
Other than maybe Jaden Daniels, if they were to knock off the Eagles, if they get the 7 seed, however it shapes out. The question is always going to be Sam Darnold, Sam Darnold, Sam Darnold, and that's unfair to the Minnesota Vikings as a whole because they are a great team. I don't know if they can win next week. It won't surprise me if they do win. It won't surprise me if they don't win. In today's game, it was the same way they played Green Bay way earlier in the year in Lambeau, where they got up and they were winning that game. They were smoking them, and they
Right.
kind of just I don't know if they took their foot off the gas or what have you, but they kind of let them back in and they almost blew it. Kind of same thing here today. They had to really
Right.
struggle in those last 2.5 minutes or so just to get a first down to bleed out the clock. So I have faith in Minnesota. I think they're talented. I think they could go far, but I think there's playoffs. It's not really who you play. It's really about matchups.
Right.
You can just find a bad matchup for you, and you never know, man. Because guess what? In the playoffs, this ain't NBA. This ain't NHL. You
Right. This
got
was
one shot.
one
You got
shot.
one shot.
Right. Yeah, but what if I told you guys there's a team that was in the playoff picture but got eliminated by a team that's I hope the Colts fans are watching this shit.
Oh my God. I was gonna pick them.
I can't even take this serious, man. I have to laugh, bro. But anyways, the Giants, the Giants eliminated the Colts from the playoff. How in the world you got blown out by a team that had no shot? That well, the Giants are dumb anyway because they just lost the number one seat. I mean,
I
number one
was gonna
draft.
say I
But
don't
anyway,
know.
that's a New York team for you, man. 45
Like
to 33. How does that make sense, Lee?
like between the two teams, I can't even tell which one is dumber.
You know, I was watching this game and the only thing I think of, I had to go to the number one source himself, and that's Meisner. And I called him, and it says your number has been disconnected or temporarily out of service. So I think he might have threw his phone. I'm not really sure. I don't know what.
That's crazy.
Apparently, Drew Lock decided to show up today and play like he did back at Missouri. I can't really explain this. I don't know if they've had 45 points their last 3 games. Somebody's had to look that up because this offense has been so
Right.
anemic. They've had a revolving door at quarterback since Tommy DeVito. It's Todd Boyle, Tim Boyle, Drew Lock. Like we I don't even think the Giants know, the offensive line knows who the quarterback's going to be until they walk into the game on Sunday. because no quarterback I feel like has had more than a 2 week stretch of starts because they've been that bad. And for them today to just and I said this last week or 2 weeks ago, I was so happy because I'm like, this is going to be the first team to go 0-9 at home,
Right.
and then they want to go and do this and ruin my fun, ruin my happiness. Not only that, but ruin my bet because they had Colts money line.
Tell me about it, bro.
Yeah.
If people can
Yo,
say, "Oh, well, if Anthony Richardson was in there, Anthony Richardson would have done any better because he would." Anthony Richardson was on Tebow watch. He's. I don't think he played because he is on Tebow watch.
yo, Solo, quick take, man, because
Yo, they
I don't want Solo to have anything to do with this, man. I have a different team to ask you a question, man. The Raiders, they keep winning at the end of the season, like this.
hey,
Congratulations.
they made Drew look like Penny Manning. I mean, this man was averaging 18.3 yards a pass. I mean, he what 309 yards, 4 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Come on, this is the game they should have lost. He
Oh
didn't
yeah,
get he didn't get the memo.
Are we talking about the Raiders or the Giants?
The Giants
you
they
talking
should
about the
have lost.
Giants?
Okay.
Even by the Giants, the Raiders I don't care. I'm talking about the Giants and the
Whoa,
Colts, who had
man.
something to play for. I mean, I guess that's what you go. That's what you get when you have Joe Flacco, because Joe Flacco is up and down. I mean, yeah, he gave you 2 touchdowns, but he gave you two interceptions, and the stats look pretty good. 330 yards. You might say, huh, that's not a bad game. But if you, I mean, I don't know. They deserve not to get in the playoff after losing to the Giants. Any team lose to the Giants like that, 45-33, don't deserve to be in the playoff.
This is why a lot of people think that we are assholes because we speak the truth about some of these teams. Yeah, bro. There's not a way for you guys to put the Colts, man. This is just abomination, And knowing the only Colt fans that I know he's not gonna talk to me tomorrow, which is be pretty good. I'll be okay with it because I'll be a happy person walking around the whole building at work with a smile on my face because the Cowboys got destroyed. But dude, man, let's make this thing short, man. Talk to me, man. Who was the most impressive player this week?
I went first last week. Y'all can go.
You know,
Right. It's kind of hard this week, right?
you know what? I get there's no question to me. Gotta be Saquon Barkley. He was the most impressive player this week.
Fact.
Took
And too
took
too bad
took
too
Moses.
hey too bad he didn't break that record. I was rooting for him to. I was hoping he just broke the record in this game, so you don't have to play next week. But I gotta pick him, and the reason why, because even the Cowboys fans, knowing that Jalen Hurts wasn't playing, like everybody in the stands, they knew was getting the ball. Everybody knew the Eagles was going to run the ball, and he was still successful in running the ball. So that's
Yeah,
my pick for this
yeah,
week.
he did struggle in the first half because the Cowboys expected it, but in the second half he just played bully ball. Eagles just played bully ball in the second half, and I agree with you, man.
They got
That's what,
tired.
yeah, Lino, who's your most impressive player this week? I
I'm
know,
gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna go a thing that you guys won't even expect me to. I'm gonna get a little semi-serious on this one. I'm gonna go Clyde Edwards-Helaire. The H is silent because this is a man who only had 5 carries, 20 yards, 2 catches, 10 yards today. But if you guys really kept up with his whole story this year and how he was out the first 4 games with the PTSD and his mental health because just a small backstory, when in college he saw one of his good friends, great teammates get killed, and over the summer in the off season he wasn't around, but he heard that another one of his other friends got shot back home in Louisiana, and it kind of just triggered something. So he stepped away from the team, and he didn't play up until just today. He got cut a couple weeks ago, so it's nice to see him back out there because he was out there doing podcasts talking about his story. So for him to get out there and just strap it up, kind of get his mind right, because he says that the football field is the only place where he just feels free just to play football and not think about anything for 3 hours. So for him to strap it up today, I'm going to give it to my man Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I hope he gets another chance. I'm assuming he'll get another chance in his league. Just hope everything is going well with him and his mentals where he can still go on and play the game that he worked so hard to get here to this level. So that's my guy, CEH.
Wow, man, that was an
Yeah,
excellent take, man.
that's deep.
We sure didn't expect that one.
Nah,
Yeah.
no, because we always talk about based on football field and
Right.
performance and stuff like that. That's deep, bro. But that just killed everything. For whatever I
For
got
you,
to say doesn't really matter no more
why?
because like
Who
I
you
mean
got?
like but dude I would piggyback on what you said about mental toughness for me. Is the Denver Broncos quarterback, the young kid, Bo Nix.
But
Yo,
next,
and I was there after throwing an interception against the Cincinnati Bengals and come back to go make that drive to tie that game. I mean, you see some of the passes he complete, like he was just gunning out there, man. It's like young Matthew Stafford out there. He was really, yes, he made a few mistakes there and there, but I mean, that's what you expect from a rookie. But I think that he really, dude, he got a bright future. And I think the AFC, I mean, our division is gonna be tough, man, because some of these quarterbacks are coming for Patrick Mahomes. I mean, they got
it's
a long way to go.
yeah, man.
But
The AFC is always tough.
yeah, so yeah, man, I gotta go Bo next, man. I think they lost that game, but that kid is special, man. I see a lot of good things. And now my favorite part, this one, I'm gonna go first. Forget
Why?
you.
Why you gonna go first? You can't
Because
you can't be
because
the you can't be the host and go first. That's not how it works.
because what I got to say is really I had to switch my dum dum of the week.
Okay, all right. Let me hear it.
Now, Lino said a few things in the beginning. I mean, a couple episodes ago about a lot of dum dum of the week, off the field thing or on the field thing. But this one, I'm gonna play a video first.
And after that play, scuffle going in the corner here. Flags are fly.
Now, the Cowboys did more fighting over there than they did on the field. That's my dum dum of the week, bro. I see more heart and more fight together as a team on the sideline, ripping off a guy helmet, going back and forth. Now everybody acting like they got each other's back, but when Eagles was stomping on them, when the defense was crumbling, I didn't see enough fight. They did more fight than that's brought on the field, outside the field, than they did on the field. The Cowboys are the dum dum of the week, man. The Cowboys are pathetic. Every year when I get opportunity to say this, I say this out loud. You guys are pathetic, bro. This was abomination. How you show up in a divisional game? Your best player, Michael Person, is also my dum dum of the week. He's part of the Cowboys. How your best player run his mouth all week to talk about what they're gonna do in Philly and show up and get stumped by 41-7. Gentlemen, I'm not gonna get too touchy about this because I'm really emotional about the Cowboys, and I know they're a piece of you know what. Solo, what's your dum dum of the week?
I think I earlier started saying it. I got the two organizations that played today, the ones that played each other somewhere over there in New Jersey, the New York Jets and the Indianapolis Colts. Both of them they get this title for the reason because the Giants. I mean, they should not be playing to win games, and the Colts, who had everything to play for, showed up and got spanked by the Giants. I don't no need to explain any further. Those two teams, those are the damn of the week, both of them.
Yo, this is crazy. I mean, this week is a little off because of but man, some of the things that happened this week is like, damn.
But you know what? I gotta say though, like we said the last time, actual players, they don't care about tanking. They're looking for their future. So I guess in that regard, I can't really blame the players because they're playing for their future for the future teams.
But Solo, you're right though, man. The Giants need every round they could get. They need a quarterback.
They do. But the
good thing is that if the Patriots get a number one seed, they're not really needed a quarterback.
It depends who come out. Depends how much they like who.
Nah, they got to stick with Drake May, man. That kid is special. Lino, who's your dum dum of the week, man? Let's get this thing ready, man. Because Lino about to go. I already know what he's gonna say, so I'm just gonna get my microphone.
You don't know what I'm gonna say because think about we with dum dum of the week. I take it as a whole. It could be It could be something in the world. It don't have to really have to do with sports, but it does have
Okay.
to do with sport. But it's
All
not
right.
at the NFL level. It's at the college level. And my dumb of the week goes to Cam Ward, the University of Miami quarterback, because this man done took himself out of the game yesterday. For
Okay.
what reason? For what reason? Because listen,
You got
if
tired?
you're not, if no, if because he didn't want to get hurt or something. I don't know. The head coach came out and said that it was a private discussion, blah 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 blah. He didn't say this was a me decision. If the coach would have came out and said, "Yeah, I told him to sit down because he's going to get drafted probably top five, first quarterback off the board, maybe second next to Shador." But for you to take yourself out the game when you're in the lead,
That's selfish.
just just to not get injured, if that's the case, just opt out completely and don't play the bowl game
Right.
because your team had a chance to win the game.
Right.
Your fellow teammates are out there fighting. Some of them are getting drafted too. Maybe not as high as you,
Right.
but some of them could go out there, maybe tear their ACL or mess up their knees. And for what? Because all I hear over the past couple of years is, oh well, I opted out of the bowl game because we're not getting paid. Now you're getting paid, you're still opting out of the bowl
Right.
game. So
Right.
what's the problem now? And it's going to come a time where he goes in a couple months to work out for an NFL team, and I guarantee you, there's going to be a lot of GMs out there being saying, "Hey,
They can ask him.
why did you take yourself out the game?" Because guess what? It's not a good look. It's just not a good look in general because you're so competitive, but yet you take yourself out and watch your team fight for you. Something about that just doesn't sit right with me. It's not going to sit right for a couple GMs, and I'm sure there are a couple GMs who they might just take them off the draft board completely, or wonder like, "Hey, you better give us a really good explanation for this." But I tell you what, he's going to look really good in the silver and black in Las Vegas and mess up over there. I can't wait for that.
No, he
He's going
ain't
to be
no,
a
no,
You
he's
see,
going to
you
be a
see,
terrible Las Vegas Raider quarterback.
he
I'll
ain't,
tell you that much.
he's not going. He's not going
that's
there.
exactly what I was about to say when I said I know where you're going. But now you just mentioned them. I knew you was gonna mention the Raiders.
He ain't going there.
Yo, man, tell the
We
fellas, man.
we saw a couple weeks ago. They gave us clues where they want to go, and there's
Where they
two
want to
teams.
go?
It's two
Where they
teams.
want to go.
It's two teams. Well, it depends who gets number, but the Giants or Vegas Raiders. That's who number one pick when he's going. We we remember he was Shadell, he was tweeting something about Vegas. So
Hmm.
if Vegas, I think him and his dad will really decide where he goes. He'll be like Eli Manning's dad. If he get drafted over there, we're not going over there. So
Let me give you the biggest clue of them all. Yesterday, Shadur Sanders, when he was playing a bowl game, you know what cleats he had on?
no.
Custom New York Giants.
New York Giants. I mean,
Custom New York Giants cleats.
it makes sense because that whole family, they like attention. And if you can change the franchise like the New York Giants, you know, you'll be the biggest star in New York City. So I don't blame him, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I think the New York Giants or Vegas, they're gonna pick him.
He better all go to Vegas. You come into the NFC East where you got a team ordered in Philly. You got a commanders looking good. And I think the Cowboys will bounce back. I don't know when. Hopefully
Uh,
never, but I think
do
it's
it.
gonna happen. But
Hey, Musa,
he's better off. He's better off
yo,
go to
man,
Vegas,
as
bro.
as long as Jerry Jones is alive, the Giants, the Cowboys ain't bouncing back.
I don't know when, but it's gonna happen. Yo, but
Nah,
fellas, man, thank you for being here, man. Thank you for watching Bala Sport, man. Lino Solo. I appreciate you guys so much,
of
man.
course, man.
Week 17 NFL playoffs around the corner, man. It's about to be more exciting. And I want Broncos to close this out next week, whoever they're playing. Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs. Practically my home party's on holiday right now. You know, they ain't got nothing water for another 20
I'll
plus
tell you
days.
what, Musa, you just tomorrow, maybe tonight, just go in your closet, dust off that Carson Wentz Eagles jersey, and wear it next Sunday or Saturday, whenever we play. I don't know. I don't know when we're playing yet. No, the schedule will probably come out later tonight.
I'm thinking is in the process right now. I'm thinking about being in Philly on Sunday to see Saquon break the record.
Mm, there you
I,
go.
Well,
I
you
want to
should. You should.
I want to be there. I don't care if I got to sit in the hop in the rough or somewhere, but I want to be there. You know what I'm saying? For some reason, I don't know.
I
Man.
so
I'm
I
thinking.
recently heard one of the people saying, and maybe it must have been some bad old school, but they were just saying that maybe, when all these new players break these different records, they should put at the end like how many games they broke the record in. And I understand the old people how they feel, because they used to play 14 games, and now we're up to 17 games. So they feel some type of a way when these records are being broken by these new players,
Right.
who some of the old people think like the game has become easy, I guess, for more players to break records. But
But this,
then I would say something about
yep.
About the Miami Dolphins. Every time a team loses the game, what do? They pop some champagne. They only play 14 games, right? In their time. So if the Chiefs, for example, if the Chiefs lose their first game week 15, I mean, technically they're broken that 14 games, right? So you can't have both ways. If you're gonna
And
complain about they're playing too many games, then you can't complain the other way. You know what I mean?
And then also with the running game back then and now we got a quarterback that could, we
Run
got our
too.
pocket passes. We got a quarterback that could run. Like look at Lamar and Henry. You know what I'm saying? Back in the days, if I'm not mistaken, there was more into the running game than it is for the
Right.
now the running
Right.
game is coming back. So
This
that's
year
an
is coming
argument
back.
that nobody ain't gonna win. But
Yeah, you
fellas,
can't
man,
win
thanks
that.
for being here, man. Thanks for watching Bala Sport, man. Yo, Lino Solo, thank you guys for being here.
Yeah,
Yes,
Yo,
man.
sir.
let's
Let's
go.
go.
Buffalo versus the Denver Broncos, man. Solo, you know exactly why I want this matchup. Because you
Oh,
know there's a guy go by the name of Rossi.
oh yeah, yo, man. Oh boy. Where's
All right,
he,
fellas.
man? Where's
Yo,
he,
he
man?
be back. I can't. Yo, he can't wait for that matchup, bro. All right, fellas.
Oh man.